Oh, Kissay!
Give me an M.
C.
No, just an M. Because it is time for Menulog mealtime here on the LCO. Delivered by Menulog.
I was like, what comes after that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to be like, A?
The MCAY?
McKay.
I just love the confidence. You're like, yeah, mate. Gotcha, mate. Like,
What is the C?
I think you forgot about the Y at the start of YMCA, and that's where we ended up. Either way, it is Menulog mealtime again. And look, you guys at home, you want a $30 voucher to spend on Menulog? We'll type that MENUPOG in the chat, and you can go in the running to win a voucher for $30, and you can get yourself a nice little cheeky dinner, or maybe even a nice cheeky vanilla milkshake, because I have had a look, and it is Vanilla Milkshake Day internationally. Now, I know you all knew that, Rusty, especially with that look on your face.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, you know, vanilla milkshakes, I actually find them pretty boring. Sorry, all vanilla milkshake fans out there. But we're going to have a discussion on what our favorite milkshakes are if we did get to choose.
Start with me.
Start with you.
Vanilla. I'm dead set. like quite literally, vanilla is not boring or bland at all. Vanilla is exceptional,
I
and
agree.
it is probably the best of all time flavor.
Okay. Why? Because it's hard to screw up?
How do you describe why something is your favorite flavor? Like seriously, how do you
Just take me through your genetics real quick.
I just like it.
True.
Just like
That's
you make a great politician. Hey, I just like it.
Too honest for that. Sorry.
No, before we move on, milkshake or thick shake though? Like,
I think thick shake.
Thick shake.
Yeah.
yeah.
Has to be, I think.
Okay, Skimmy, what about you?
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream?
Ooh.
Kitty?
I prefer banana milk. I don't know. I
Oh.
usually like vanilla
Banana's good.
on everything else,
Yeah.
but I like banana milk.
Oh, see, it's hard because I love a good chalky thickie. I love a good chalky thickie. Tell me about that. But at the same time, you know, mint, if you go to a good milkshake
That's
shop,
true.
you can get a good mint
Yeah.
one. Ooh, love that little
Same
taste.
with ice cream.
Mm.
Mint, like underrated, I would say.
Yeah, and then you can also go to different places that add all the extra toppings and bits, but then that's always very deep into the sweet tooth level of stuff, and we just try to stay away from that, you know, just in case. But that is it for Menulog mealtime. We've got to start talking about the matchup. What? You laughing at my tubby belly?
It's just so good because I'm just sitting here just like League of Legends and you're just yarning about God knows what.
You know what's
Hey.
great? Skimmy with a mask on, you don't see him laughing. You just see the head go.
I'm so
Every time
I
he
have to,
starts
I have to literally overreact now. I'm like,
You got to laugh with your eyes, Skimmy. You got to laugh with your eyes.
I've become
now.
like a PlayStation 2 character, just like 2 pixel Andy. Yes.
Just lost so much. Now, look, let's talk about two teams that are going to be going head-to-head for match number 2 of the day. It's Chiefs, it's Peace. Let's have a look at who we're going to be talking about. First, it will be Chiefs. Skimmy, take me through how they're going to take a big fatty dub today.
Yeah, well, Chiefs have been exceptional so far. Nobody's really looked to try and contest them. They've had this insanely strong early game performance, right, where they just get, huge gold leads, up by 4,000 by the 15-minute mark. They get always the first 3 towers, and they just win the game as a result, right? They've just shown this conviction in their play where they're not afraid to make moves, that they're all synced up on the same page. We had that obviously beautiful play the other week around the Baron Pit where it led into a 3-man Wukong knock-up, into that of a Rakan knock-up too. And I mean, ultimately, when you've got that level of synergy, it's very hard to contest. So I think polar opposites going into this match, given that Peace have favoured a lot more of the late game match.
Okay, so it's going to be rough for Peace personally, I think. But look, we're not talking about Peace just yet. Chiefs, they're still looking real good. You know, in all roles, everyone is pretty much excelling. Topoon's still loving going for those solo kills and still trying to, you know, worldwide be one of the top contenders. And look, we have to talk about Arthur, probably one of the better looking jungles we've seen, not only in the LCO, but I just feel like in comparison to what we got from him for the first half of last split, he is just, you know, putting his best foot forward.
I think Arthur on champions like Wukong gives a clear indication to the team of when the engage is happening. And with that engage, we have Aladoric, which is a good second engage on that Rakan. The entire team fights, and all the team fights, in fact, were played out extremely smoothly coming out of Chiefs. And I think they just have the best fundamentals that out of every team.
Need a quick shout out to, you know, the improvement. I was going to say increasement, and I'm like, that's not a word, Mac. The improvement in the post-game celebration coming through from everyone. The synergy was there. I think Arthur and Tally still had a little bit of
Tally got left on scene. He just looked at him and said...
Yeah, ooh.
So sad.
Well, I think we have Arthur for an interview in a little bit, so maybe we can ask him about that, see how things are going in the Chiefs camp. But of course, we've got to talk about Peace as well, see how they're doing today, and see who they're bringing into the game. I did have a quick chat with Gunkrab because, of course, you know, last week that Senna Tarm combo, you saw Tarm on Violet and Senna there for Gunkrab, and he said, depending on what comp they get, they're just going to, you know, swap roles depending on what is necessary. So, got that one all cleared up. But for today, Skimmy, can you tell me exactly what we're expecting from Peace in this matchup?
Well, I'd love to see a lot more early aggression, right? That's what I really characterized Peace in years gone by. If you look about, 2021, that was their mainstay, right? When it was the battle between them and Pentanet. Pentanet were the team that played all for late game, and Peace were the ones that would just crush in the first 15 minutes. And a lot of that was driven by Apii and LeeSA as a pairing. We've yet to really see that this split so far. There's been some characteristic mistakes, which you just think, when's that ever happened? I mean, the least performance from LeeSA felt like a little bit of disbelief ultimately. So I'd love to see those guys firing. They're phenomenal players when they are on all cylinders. So just a little bit more strength in the early game to tide things over. Otherwise, I think Chiefs could get away with another, sub 25-minute win.
All right, let's talk about the patch for this team as well. With the changes that are there, you know, you're talking about a couple of buffs for select ADCs and such. Are we going to see this be a favorable one for Peace in particular? Rusty?
I mean, I think Peace need to be more aggressive early.
Yep.
So I want to say yes, because early aggression champions do exist, but also no, because the punish is a lot higher and there's a lot more scaling on the opposing side. So if Peace do kind of what we all want them to do to see them improve, then the chance of losing is higher. But if it works, then they'll look like a fantastic team again, because the players on paper are still good enough to beat any team.
Yeah,
there's just nothing working together for them right now at all.
Yeah, it's just like a ticking time bomb, so to speak, right? It's like, when are all the pieces of Exodia going to combine together? Look, I've got a man that we can ask that question to. Arthur, hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi. Doing great, thanks.
Very good, very good. Now, so Peace, they're Exodia, right? You respect everyone on that team, or do you not respect everyone on Peace?
Honestly, I respect them all. I think they're like individually pretty good players, but like they're seems like struggling at team stuff. Yep.
Okay, so do you think that Peace is one of those teams that if they all play their best game on any day, like any team can lose in this league, or would you put yourself on a different sort of standard right now?
I think they're like, I did expect they're like contender first, but like seems like they're like struggling. But like I think on later the split, I think if they play their best, I think they can be playoff contenders.
And talking about Peace, the other teams that can contest your #1 spot, which was PGG, where you guys won against them, do you think any other team oppose the same threat that PGG does provide to you guys?
I think everyone has like pretty much same potential. Like Pentanet or Peace are looking. I think in later they seems pretty strong on later, so like I think it's gonna be these three teams. Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, we'll let you go and get ready for your game, Arthur, and we'll see you maybe afterwards if you get a big W.
Afterwards?
Thanks.
Afterwards? Hey, look, I'm... Hey.
I need to be soft on this broadcast.
Kitty
I'm
just set
slowly
herself
losing
off
it.
so much there.
I'm glad you're having fun, Kitty. Now, look, let's bring up the Dare fan vote. You guys get those Twitch points in and tell us which way you think this game is going to go. Be forwards or afterwards. Again, of course, you know, get the points in, and we need
Big
that.
joke from you over there, see?
Haha.
I'm actually crying. Someone help. Okay,
Good.
quick, Mac.
Okay,
move
well,
on.
we got predictions coming up. So, Kitty,
Yes,
tell me
yes.
who you've gone for, because then you can stop crying.
I've gone with Peace. I mean, I'm going with Chiefs because I've cried too much over Peace because they've been just getting absolutely
That's a good
stomped.
save.
That's
Yeah.
true. They have, you
That's a good
know,
save.
they've let our predictions down, as well
Hey,
as
we're
just
counting
Kitty.
now.
Hmm?
There's one win-loss separating all of us in predictions.
Oh,
Wait, who's winning
So
then?
Skimmy's leading. I'm
Skimmy, then
second.
yourself. then
Hey,
I have one over you.
that's true. Ooh,
So you're last.
Just one.
just one?
Mm.
Are you just telling me that I'm at the end because
By
you want me
one.
to start
By one.
doing underdog picks?
Oh, yeah?
He really wants to throw it under the bus.
Is that what you're trying to ask me to do, Rusty? Because I could.
I think we're about a week away from viable underdog picks.
Okay.
Like, I think maybe by the end of this week, coming into the next one, underdogs have real chances to win. Because
In the second round.
honeymoon phase has ended, right? Second phase begins, and teams should start to find like a footing.
Okay, I'll agree with that. Now, of course, I've gone with Chiefs there as well, just because, you know, they're pretty much undefeated. I think that trend's going to continue. And I'm going to grab myself a little bit of gum, because Champ Select's ready, and I'm going to go chew it in the green room while you guys take us through all the damn fun. Ha!
We will. We'll do all that whilst you do all that. Great. Peace taking on the Chiefs here. Let's see what the Peace can really do, right? Because we definitely know what they're capable of, and it's not to say that they can't do it, right? You think about their time, Split 2 2021, they're just like really shaky moment where they were swapping in and out plays, and they made that insane run all the way through playoffs to go to Worlds, right? So there's no denying the potential. I don't think we need to really have that knee-jerk panic moment yet of like, it needs to change now up against the team Chiefs, but so you'd love to see a bit of fight.
Absolutely. You'd like to see some development. For me, it's all about LeeSA and Apii being more, I want to say assertive as a duo. I don't want to say aggressive because I don't think that's the word that I would use, but I just want to be able to look at LeeSA and Apii's performances and feel a level of confidence, right? Like after the first week, we all looked at Thien and said he had an absolute shocker, but he was countered, he was focused, he was targeted. But then he came back and had a really good gangplank game, even though it was a loss, right? Like, there's still things there. Violet's first game was solid, but he's just kind of casually farming. So those are the two that I really look towards. So we'll get into this draft either way here. Zeri's going to be permanently banned, it seems, today if trajectory continues. I like that we're seeing a Wukong and a Viego banned by Chiefs. I feel like this is a gauntlet thrown down. And to me, this brings into question what LeeSA will play. We know he's got a pretty deep champion pool overall, but you would say that Wukong Viego are like the meta, and now we diversify.
And it becomes a question, right? What is the third best jungler? They were hovering a first pick on that LeeSA, and they decided against it.
We're really doing that in OS, aren't we?
Well, look, I mean, if there was anybody that would play, I think it was Thien, probably the first actually to play top lane Sejuani. It's that good.
I am not a fan of a LeeSA with it. And the reason for that is, first of all, they do have a good combo together. LeeSA's auto attacks are really fast-paced, right? Has the ability to follow through on crowd control really nicely.
Sure.
I would like the jungler to be more of a carry champion that a Sejuani can enable.
Okay.
That's just my take on it. That's why I think Viego is actually one of the best options to go with it. LeeSA works, it's just that LeeSA's not going to be a carry, so it should be Topoon that gets more of the resources if he's going to go Ignite Sejuani instead. But no surprises in response here, I think, suffice to say.
No surprises whatsoever. Ezreal, Gwen, and Trundle. We saw how well the Trundle worked last game. Seems to be one of those fantastic, responses into the Sejuani, right? With the ultimate, you take down all those resistances, and it looks ever too easy as a result. This is a consideration now, right? What do you pick in the mid lane? Because if you want more ways to enable the Sejuani, you'd be looking at something like an Azir, as opposed to what Tally's been playing in recent weeks, like sort of Ari and Veigar. So this looks good.
Okay, and so we see the Ezreal on the other side. The Azir locked in basically secures a scaling option in mid. Azir likes to be coupled with another carry champion, so it could be that we get like an Aphelios or a Jinx type composition here from Raes. It could also be a Xayah Rakan, potentially, just given Aladoric's propensity to that style of champion.
Yep.
It could also be a Kai'Sa Nautilus, right? If they want to play aggressive but have the scaling ranged option in the Azir mid lane. I'd like this if it is going to actually just be the Veigar banned away. Could even get rid of something like a LeBlanc if you wanted.
That becomes the question now. What do you look to try and remove in this mid lane? Are you removing other hyper-scaling champions to scale alongside you, or do you look to say, let's target the spot lane? Because right on the money, yeah, as you see, you banned away that Kai'Sa. Now you're trying to force Chiefs into a particular predicament. They're going to go for the Corki as well. So I guess really what you're looking left at would be the Victor.
Yeah, Victor's probably the best in slot now for those scaling mid lane options for sure.
Sure.
Trundle pretty good at setting that up as well, right? Like the pillar into the Chaos Storm, or the Gravity Field rather, for the stun combo, pretty easy to hit also. So decent follow-up there. However, they've already got pretty high scaling magic damage in top lane if they wanted to with this Gwen. So I would say Apii's more flexible than anyone else right now with what he could play. If you want to be something that beats Azir in lane, be aggressive, you could go for it here. Apii's the type of player that might just on a whim chuck out a Gragas because he can.
The center had to be banned away in case that was going to be a flex of the Sejuani bot, like we said at top of show as well. And it might now just go full circle, right? Will it be the Aphelios or will it be the Xayah Rakan? Obviously, the Rakan Did get some quite nice buffs, right? Quicker cooldown to engage, bigger shield if you do pair it.
Tarek?
Trist would be exciting. Tarek got that meaty buff, and we were talking about what would be the go-to. Kalista Tarek, or Tristana Tarek, and certainly Raes is one of those Tristana players.
Tarek feeling a bit juiced right now in certain compositions. I wouldn't say that Peace have the perfect one to Tarek into so far. But Tristana with an aggressive champion, right? Note the Nautilus still exists. You know, the standard options are still going to be there for the Chiefs. We'll see where Aladoric goes, because Peace to respond. Big fan of this choice. I do think that right now Bard provides so much for the game of League of Legends right now in a competitive landscape, providing, you know, enchanter scaling options, good gank threat through all lanes off resets, and the ability to engage with that ultimate, which is something the Peace don't have. The flexibility of that ultimate as well, denying heralds, denying turrets to be taken, can be pretty crucial.
It's just going to be that 5th pick Galio again. We've seen this from Apii before already. Going to give them some global pressure to try and complement the idea of just locking down quadrants of the map.
Peace don't sing to me as a good composition for damage for scaling, right? Ezreal Gwen is their late game damage, their late game scaling. Revealing the Bard blind, I do feel like there's some options exist for Aladoric if he wants to be aggressive in lane. More often than not, that'd be an enchanter, right? Like the Jannas, the Lulus, etc. But Rakan is just his bread and butter. It makes a lot of sense that that's where he would go towards. Especially having mobility into a composition. It's pretty slow on the uptake, right? It's not hard engage. It's more like a Trundle pillar. A Galio has to dash before he actually hits you with the Justice Punch, knock up, the W channels. You know, there's so many options where mobility can get around Peace's composition, and Chiefs have mobility in all 5 champions. So it's not exactly the easiest thing for Peace to execute on. But yes, I worry for their scaling damage being fully... All their physical damage is on Violet, who has to hit skill shots for that to work. And Thien, who is on the Gwen into the Sejuani LeeSA that can really combo you down and make your life miserable early. Essentially,
you're praying that this Riftmaker packs enough of a punch, which did get nerfed, right? As we saw in this patch 12-11, where they're trying to adjust it and make other items seem a little bit more desirable. But Gwen still... seeming like the champion that you're going to be locking on in. Well, it is going to be a second performance off this Sejuani. It's being locked in that first rotation. It is in the top lane again. It looked strong before. We see the merits behind it. But it does look like the Chiefs' composition is a lot more well-rounded to fund its stunning passive. They've got the mobility, as you mentioned, and Peace have certainly got champions that they're good on, but feels like a bit more of a mashup.
Yeah, I mean... For me, the Chiefs' composition just makes a decent amount of sense, right? Like, again, the Sejuani top first pick blind is something that we're seeing twice in a row, which is still a little bit odd to me, but I guess these teams have seen so much success with it in scrims now that that's just well and truly leaked into the competitive landscape. But that and the LeeSA, Arthur, Korean LeeSA, definitely the star of the show here that we look out for.
We can't forget what he's done in the splits gone by. Certainly has had a lot of montage moments. I'm excited to see what does take place as we load into our second game of the night. And a chance to see what Peace look like up against a very informed Chiefs who are now perfect 4-0. I will say, bear in mind, that when we are talking about what ways Peace could try and be a little bit more aggressive, well, so far they've not got a single herald. Certainly a good answer would be to get that gold injection, target a lane, get some plates, and get a bit of a lead in that way.
Almost a bit of deja vu as well here, Skimmy, just looking at that one. I was worried that, first of all, Mammoth playing the exact same way with a very similar composition. We're looking for a level 1 play themselves. Yeah, I mean, to your point, Herald, I think, is really valuable. You know what? I think that Bard as a champion denies Herald in such a unique way as well that I wonder how Chiefs will play this and if the focus actually goes from like top kills to Drakes instead, right? If they transition down the map, because Bard existing with ult just counters Herald existing. And I think that's potentially a big factor, but either way, straight into this game, looking at the way that these players are going to start, it is a leash for LeeSA from the bottom lane of Peace. Leashless start here for Arthur, red side of the map. So both junglers starting on their red buffs respectively. Means that Chiefs will get here with a little bit more tempo in bottom to try and be aggressive. Ezreal Bard, any kind of level 1 advantage they would have from poke that their champions have is going to be a wash, because they're stuck getting to the lane a little bit later and dealing with minions primarily.
Just going to do a handshake between both of these supports to clear out vision as they assert control of the lane. Zombie wall cleared out as the grand entrance goes on through, and Aladoric tries to get the ball rolling, sending messages towards this bud.
It's like, you know, when someone plays Thresh, they throw their first hook. If it hits, you're confident. Similar with the Rakan W. If you miss that first one, you're down in the dumps. It's just likes to struggle. But yeah, bot has some volatility at level 2. I think it's unlikely that Peace would ever step up to contest this one. Just going to continue to throw those Qs off cooldown and farm. Junglers now going to start to farm their way through. LeeSA's going to find literally nothing here. Perhaps assumed that the Chiefs leashed based off the pathing of Raes and Aladoric. But now gets confirmation that it's all gone and has since just wasted time. Because he did red leashed, Gromp blue, enemy jungle. Nothing's there. He's now going to get spotted by a ward if he wants to on the way back. Oh, this could be really nice.
Tally might have paid the price to result this one. Maximum charge on that taunt. Surely a pillar soon to come on out. The chomp is there. Where you going? Can you hit the soldiers? Can you run away? You have to trim the wave. And that's the first blood, which ultimately came from nothing.
Yeah, just kind of fabricated that one out. No, like, realistically, LeeSA's positioning there was just confusing, right? Like, how did he get there is definitely something the Chiefs will be asking themselves. Watching this one back, they'll be definitely unhappy about it. LeeSA just found no jungle camps, and almost a comedy of timing results in them getting a nice first kill. Not even the flash used by Tally. I think he just realized that he was in a bad enough place that if he wasted the flash, could be pretty dire.
Vision goes down, and we are fighting in the bot lane right now as Raes has already hit that cleanse, but the exhaust permitted itself a little bit longer. Rocket jump away, the follow through after, and Arthur still continues to go for a roam on the enemy side of the map.
Does anyone from Peace have a ward? There is still a heal there from Violet, so at least in Q is not going to be outright lethal. There's a chance that the Guardian comes up decently soon as well. He's staying for a very long... Oh, the E was used.
Good poke. Oh, that's a fantastic dash from through. Knocking up to Arthur goes in, looking for the Q, looking for the kill. And there it is. Arthur does it again with his superb LeeSA performance.
I mean, Violet essentially just gives them permission to launch. Very well played, though, by Aladoric with the flash W, right? Able to combo really nicely. Thien in trouble.
Oh, it's all on. Topoon has no mana, but one final flail, and that's a cheeky solo for the solo kill monster.
Yeah, I mean, Ignite, definitely a large factor, it seems like. Something that I had omitted in my mind as to what Sejuani can do in lanes, but the Gwen, definitely one of the more comfortable lanes, I will say, of potential options. Just gets the solo kill. I mean, first of all, it's Topoon, but second of all, the Ignite into what is a ghost for Thien. Perhaps just misjudged the damage that could be done to him. Didn't even use that summon. It just dies.
But back to the point prior, absolutely a fantastic flash engage there onto two members from Aladoric, rewarding the patience of Arthur, waiting patiently in that bot tri-bush to guarantee that kill to try and get this explosive bot lane ahead.
Gunkrab, of course, spotted off his reset. Aladoric is just hunting, just stalking his prey, matching his every move, not looking to let the Bard get away with anything. More so about protecting Tally than anything else. And, you know, quick stock take here in mid lane. The Predator with Boots of Lucidity completed by Apii. Feeling pretty happy about that one. This is also one of those lanes. I mean, you often look at Galio and think he's not going to lose lane, right? He just kind of absorbs, soaks damage, and then just resets. But Azir harasses you on every single minion. Azir into melee champions is really frustrating. And that starts to add up.
We're seeing it right there. As you can see, the soldiers go down, and Apii has to trade HP to stay competent in this lane. Won't get too much better, but he certainly will be hoping that now that he's level 6, he finds angles and areas of the map in which he can crash on down to force an unfair numbers advantage.
He's now hovering. I don't think there's any risk of Chiefs dying here as long as Raes doesn't jump forwards. But also Apii moving level 6 on this Galio. Unless there's some honey fruit, which there is, he was going to have very low mana. Now has all of the resources to potentially join into a fight. I don't think they contest this Drake at all, Skimmy. I do think they just concede this one. Well earned by Peace, I will say.
Great timing to push out the bot wave, to shield it with the vision, to allow LeeSA in to scatter any opportunity for Arthur to answer back, which he, once again, has been ever so patient with. Gunkrab just at a range to reveal that Arthur is in that next bush over. And the recall's going out. I think this one will not be cancelled.
Really just harassing. Peace, I don't think, have any options to commit unless it was another, essence shift forwards by Violet, which would have been absolutely insane given that a full health Tristana is right there ready to jump on you and ignite his back off cooldown for Aladoric. Mid's found a pretty nice CS advantage, which starts to amount into almost equalizing the kill. Of course, it was first blood, so that takes even an extra wave to compensate. But nevertheless, Tally keeping most of his time here with priority in mid. Bot lane, you would say Chiefs have had priority most of the time as well. Tristana can just push so incredibly hard. Ezreal has to use abilities to match that one. The one place that seems like it's just been kind of whatever except for that one death is top lane. The Gwen's farming. Pretty fine.
Topoon looks very content, and it does look like we're going to go for that slower start with the Fimbulwinter once again, with the Thien now having been purchased. Topoon jumps on through. Both junglers lurking in the area. But Topoon's spidey senses say, why would I go for a fight now when the Herald is on? Everybody's going to group up together now. Tally comes across, making a 4v4. Both AD carries are roaming into the mid lane to say, let's have at it. And this Herald is being completely leashed out of its pit. It may be LeeSA. It's switching its aggro. The fight, it's tantalizingly close. Gunkrab misses the binding against the wall. And we're just waiting for that first team to make a move.
Spawn connects. Topoon's going to take some poke here. Raes just getting priority in mid lane. So the second Violet goes mid to catch this, Chiefs can advance and be more aggressive if they wanted to. Peace have a lot of crowd control to make these picks, but Gunkrab not being 6 makes the actual engage a lot harder to do. It's more reliant on Apii finding an angle. Chiefs are committing.
The fight is on, they're looking for it, it's been stolen. LeeSA has guaranteed the Herald. The fact is he walks on in and Arthur tries to zone them away, but it's not going to be enough. Thien wasn't even there. Thien went topside to crash it in. And Chiefs put so much in, but LeeSA's hot on the money.
And the Sejuani ultimate almost just stops Galio from existing, full stop. You show up, you put your W up, you try and taunt people, you're just instantly stunned and killed. So they'll take out the Galio. But the Herald being secured here by LeeSA, that's 2 games in a row. I'm getting severe deja vu. Just that one team doesn't have an Ezreal Corki this time around. It's a Galio from left field.
And Peace get their very first Herald the split. It's fantastic, right? So if they can find some value off that, they can certainly look to try and get that cheap item spike to continue to complement the ideas of that high CC as you mentioned. Here comes Arthur. Going to pay respects to top side as the needlework goes out, and Thien looking to try and trim this wave on down. He has no Omnivamp, but he does still pack a punch with that snip, snip, snip. Inside his Haloed Mist, he will try to be as tanky as he can be, but Arthur will not let him get out for free and takes him down to become now 2-0-1.
Yeah, Thien again, ghost at the ready, but just kind of assumed he was dead and lived for longer than perhaps even he expected. Finding honestly no value so far from the ghost. Decent scaling option for being able to chase down the Azir, and I think that's what a lot of this game is going to come down to, right? When we start hitting those team fights, Thien's purpose is going to be to try and assassinate. Apii's been really hard done in here by his vision timing. Sweeps the Tribush, leaves it, and then a ward gets placed just out of the sweeper range. Just kind of dances around vision, not knowing that he's been completely spotted.
Vision control paramount now as Aladoric lays it down, waiting for that second Drake of the game to spawn. Good timing on the item spikes as Kraken Sled comes across here for this Tristana, but absolutely look at this mid lane. Yes, it is a Galio, and yes, he's got Predator for those engaged. They were even 2
minutes ago, now it's like a 40 CS lead. Like, I don't think Apii's farmed a minion in like 3 minutes.
He's just been on this map, roaming up an absolute storm. We saw him bot lane, we saw him at the Herald, he's back to mid. Ezreal was holding it for him, but Tally just gets to laugh and hit the Leandries really quickly at the 11-minute mark. Yeah,
not going to miss a minion here as well, unless that one dies to the turret. Looking for top lane right now. Remember that Herald is ready to be summoned by LeeSA. This is a fair place to put it, give some extra money, inject some gold into the pockets of Thien. 4 people up here as well.
Apii zoning as he's looking to try and prevent everybody going on through. Aladoric jumps on to try and force out that flash, which he's successful in doing so. Cosmic Binding once again does not land, but the Q connects from Arthur.
Herald doesn't get summoned.
They don't summon it, and Raes now just gets to push plates for free.
They just don't summon it at all, right? Like, you've got an Ezreal holding mid, not pushing, and meanwhile, Raes is just winning the game. Herald going to be summoned here as the wave builds to crash now. LeeSA trying to tank before the Herald does. Make sure that's full health to get the charge off. But that's it. It's an equal transaction where it's actually Raes coming out on top because he gets minion waves alongside this. Solo experience alongside these turret plates.
The turret's gone.
This Tristana is just going to skyrocket in gold value. There's just no shot.
So strong, and they're really trying to overforce the play now to top side. They fought literally everybody top side, 4 members apiece. Pile drive into Topoon. What can he do to try and hold this one down? The turret's still there. He's going to fall on down, but at least they get Apii. No, they don't. The turret dies. Arthur is bot side saying, you do that, we'll get a Drake, and we'll just get a second turret, Rusty.
I mean, Topoon unfortunately throws his ult into Narnia. Otherwise, that could have been a 1-for-1 trade. Turret going to drop bottom. Turret at least gets matched top lane, yes. Arthur now moving bottom here, however, the next wave's about to show this. They're knocking on the door of 2 turrets. Apii's going to get here, maybe, to stop this, but nah, he's not going to be able to stop it at all.
And Raes is just laughing straight to the bank with that one. Look how much gold he has now.
He's done nothing but sit bottom and he's 1,400 gold ahead in the last 2 minutes. And this is a consistent theme that I'm seeing in the LCO from teams, is whenever they try and transition to side lanes to make plays, the cost elsewhere is just so astronomically high. We saw this from Gravitas last week. That's the first one that comes to mind whenever Dajung roamed. Look at the CS difference now for Apii on this Galio, 60 CS down. ADC, you're already looking at the gold difference, right, is absurdly far ahead. Chiefs have 4 members with a gold lead.
But look at the items. He's got a Phantom Dancer, Kraken Slayer, and Boots, all there at 13 minutes. I mean, a Tristana, which you would say is built to be an absolute late-game monster, is already there.
And what do Peace do to respond to this, right? How do they, as a composition, deal with what is a scaling Azir composition? You know, the Tristana, I do think Trist scales, but not in a conventional ADC way. Range increase is huge for scaling damage. The Q obviously is a very large factor, but can be quite in your face and still susceptible to dying. The high-risk scaling champion, not like a Jinx or a teleport.
Yeah, Tally's on. A TP from top side. The Emperor's Divide knocking back too as they go for the binding. Flashing out of the Everfrost. Oh no, gets landed on by that Tempered Fate. True Shot Barrage goes across to try and pat these members down low. The shield is there. Gwen's now immune. Raes. Rocket jumping away inside that Baron pit. They pile drive into Thien, and he's been baited. Peace went in. They formed this collapse. And Tally is just baiting them all out. And they are the ones to get the kill instead.
That was really, really, really tragic from Gunkrab. The magical journey in was correct, right? They found the angle, they forced the Azir ultimate. He then used the Tempered Fate to stop a taunt happening from Apii, which could have been, you know, something that perhaps snowballed the rest of the fight. But instead, it was a free 2 seconds to think about a battle plan here for the Chiefs. An ultimate wasted. The Chiefs will continue to just press up, press forwards.
Another turret being sieged here. Raes is just pushing through that mid-tier 1 piece, respawning and running straight back to that scene of the crime. A 2-man taunt, it's a mini one, but it's not enough to try and deter him. Aladoric jumps in and says hello to his former teammate and just says, we're going to get those kills. You land the binding, you land the stun, the blast cone gets him out. Gunkrab just survives as the Sonic Wave went the wrong side. He took a 50-50, but Peace is starting to panic.
By the skin of his teeth, he'll get out, but they'll lose the mid lane outer turret. They will still lose the overall trade, and they will continue to fall further behind. 6,000 gold difference 15 minutes into this one. Peace are trying, and I respect it. They are constantly looking to make attempts, make plays happen, but every single time the calm, measured response from the Chiefs, right? Just disengage, wait for the correct moment, make the play. That's all you have to do against the Trundle Galio composition. They really want you to come towards them. They wait for the reinforcements. Arthur gets into the mix. Raes here to do some damage as well. And Gunkrab lucky to be alive. But consider during this, the Gwen's not going to be able to get into the fight. Teleport not going to be going for that. It's for bot lane. Just to continue to farm. Chiefs are just too clean. They just always know the best move, and Peace are always, you know, in terms of decision making, 1 step behind.
Absolutely. And that's the most impressive thing about it all right now. Chiefs have versed really all their direct competition to try and have a stake at the throne this early on. Yet they are still claiming that average of 4 to 5k gold difference by the 15-minute mark. It's a really strong showing for them. And yes, Peace are giving us a lot more to work with in this early game, but Chiefs are making it ever so hard to really reward them for that.
feel like Raes after this wave will have a decent amount of money to shop with as well, because he came onto the map, had those items, they've had a turret gone, a team fight gone. We'll be able to start to establish himself just a little bit more. Topoon with so much control over his own respective lane in terms of priority. He's now flanking mid. Been spotted.
Oh, he's going to try and lock in place LeeSA there. Tempered Fate just dashed out there with the safeguard. Nice little play there from Arthur. And an attempted pick as they continue to siege, but they just cannot fault the attempts of an Azir, a Herald, and a Tristana.
Yeah, right now all they're doing is attempting. It is just being handled. Business as usual. Chiefs will extend their gold lead. Now knocking on the door with a Herald charge here. Smite should stop it.
Raes could be in trouble. Good rocket jump away. The pillar could have been really dangerous there for a second. True shot barrage will merely tickle the LeeSA.
He didn't smite the Rift Herald. So it charged. And that tower's almost dead. Raes with this red buff will be able to get himself back up to full health from the regeneration that it provides. Also the Drake to be done. Raes refuses to jump the wall and wants to try and max range auto it, but concedes eventually.
And what a grudge match, right, for Aladoric and Violet. Aladoric making that switch. They were that really destructive partnership, hand in hand, doing so much work. They went to Worlds, was so impressive. Violet then gets picked up as a result to go overseas. Now they meet for the very first time back on home soil. And it's not really gone his way.
There's definitely some emotion, some pride, I think, more than anything else on the line here for Aladoric and for Violet alike, as they were definitely the power duo. Since being separated, one, of course, going abroad, one just taking a hiatus from competitive league. This game hasn't really been Violet's fault by any means. This does feel like just, again, a bit of a team diff. Something that Arthur said in the interview leading up to this game is individually the players of Peace are great, and we all agree. Just when it comes to the crunch, they just don't seem to have it together as a team at all.
And as a result now, just having to concede every square inch of the map. The jungle no longer belongs to them. Those CS numbers are only going to continue to grow. We talked about how devastatingly large it was in the mid lane before.
Hello.
It's close to now becoming a flame horizon at 100. Apii has been spotted out in that bush and forced to run away. LeeSA playing flank on the side. Thien now trying to split push down in the bot lane with TP up. But Chiefs are just playing systematic League of Legends. Group up, siege. And this map belongs to them.
If there's anything that you could say for Peace right now, is that they have a really insane ward to flank on if they were to make a play top lane. But if they were to make that play right now, top lane would take the inhibitor mid. It's very dangerous. They're playing for the bot lane outer, right? Because they've got the objective bounties. Thien will secure that one, but the tilt push can't last forever. Because it still feels like the Chiefs are matching that at all times. And the space that exists for Peace starts to shrink even further. We're almost at a flame horizon.
Yeah.
20 minutes in, Skimmy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. It just feels crazy to me that it can be that devastatingly large this early on. There is obviously a lot of gold on the map that can be realized between objective bounties, between bounties of the key carries themselves too. But we are still looking at an 8k gold lead, which is a very steep mountain to climb. So thankfully, no inhibitors have fallen on down, but all those turrets getting close to protecting them, they've been crippled. And a Baron could certainly wrap this one up at the 25-minute mark.
This goal difference is just, compared to the kill score, it's so wildly large. And it is just CS. Like, Peace are giving everything to Thien to try and scale him into this game, and the only person who's behind on Chief's side is Topoon. But he doesn't care, right? He is still the tank of the team. He's still the Sejuani. He's just going to do his job in team fights, which is keep the Trist and the Azir alive and threaten the carries of Peace. Because their carries are just Violet. Thien maybe, right? If Thien's in the fight, absolutely you'd be keeping him at bay, but so far it's been a split push Gwen through and through. Mind you, he teleported top for no apparent reason and is in closer proximity to the objective being Baron right now, and it is Apii that is side lane, so there's definitely a chance Thien is in the next fight as it happens.
Apii isn't revealing himself though until the very last minute. He'll be out of range to try and hit his ultimate, but he does have the Unleashed TP available if need be. All that vision now planted very defensively is going to be cleared out here by the Chiefs as they now assert their dominance and say, Baron is on, 22 minutes in, come at us, Peace.
Peace even get in here. By the time it takes a teleport to come in from Apii, this Baron will already be gone. Thien trying.
They have no vision. It's just a little bit too
Teleport.
late. The TP goes across. The True Shot Barrage is there. The Sonic Wave connects, but it's not the fight they're after. Oh, no, Raes! Mid-air with a rocket jump. Oh, he's forced to flash away. He's flashed away after it. No follow-up after that Tempered Fate. Arthur jumps in 1v4 with his Q, and that's a big shutdown. One Baron buff removes a fantastic taunt as Thien takes out the extremely fed Azir. And signs of life for Peace finally, 22 minutes in.
Hey, they got shutdowns. We take those. The gold lead is still very large. Baron belongs to the Chiefs. But the Bard engage on the jump from Raes is very large for them. They've got the Drake up in just a couple of seconds here as well, but the respawns will be there from the Chiefs. Teleport ready for Tally means they can't just stick around and wait for the objective. And the Chiefs don't need to take this fight. Let's all acknowledge that Arthur goes for the biggest power end of all time. Just because he thinks he's got the kill, right? But there's an exhaust from Gunkrab. There's a heal from Violet. And there is the ultimate there from the Trundle. All of that healing and damage reduction. The LeeSA just means he is gone. Shutdown comes through. That feels like such a large force from Peace, but the Chiefs oblige. I think they think they're far enough ahead they can get away with that. And that's fair enough. They haven't lost the game from making the play. It's worth the attempt.
Absolutely, it is. It's a rare chance for motivation, no doubt about it, for Peace to feel good about their chances in this game, to say we could potentially come back in this one. If they give us an inch, let's try and take them out. But we cannot forget all the great work that Chiefs did only moments prior. They've claimed 6 turrets. They still have a lot of Baron buffs available. They're now sitting at a 5-minute clock that says Infernal Soul is up for grabs, but would really like to start getting those hit turrets down.
This Baron buff is going to be so hard to stop. Gunkrab's going to have to try and hit a Bard ultimate here to kick this one off. Raes is still definitely the prime target. Teleport in from Chiefs to make sure this play is safe. Tally wants to reduce the risk, and then a cannon's about to hit one more time. Base is open.
Top lane going to passively push on through. Mid doing wonders as well, but they're all in on this bot lane play. Apii looking for the blast cone. Tempered Fate's been missed. He's flashed. He's torn. He's been instantly kicked. It doesn't matter. The Everfrost on to Raes, but there's no follow-up. Once again, he goes gold, and as he does, he goes grey because he's dead, and now Thien's in trouble, and he is dead as well. Arthur is putting on a clinic, and Tally goes in for the 2-man Emperor Divide, but they just got out of range. So they get pushed inside their fountain, and that is where they may just remain, because 25 minutes, we said the prediction would be it. Chiefs want to wrap this one up here, Rusty. Their nexus is exposed, and now Chiefs are 5-0 because they are taking everything down with them. Pat that KDA, why not? They are the team to beat.
They most certainly are right now. Very early split 2 contenders, if not title favorites here in the LCO. Chiefs just continue business as usual. Pretty clean-cut win. Never really looked like losing. They just farmed. Had a good time farming. They look for the right plays. They make it work. They pick their moments. Topoon gets another solo kill even on the Sejuani because it's Topoon. He finds a way. And Chiefs just too clean.
Far too clean. It had a lot of fun. It had to look like that, in that game there, Mac, that they were just pushing, shoving, fighting, entertaining. Doing really what you want to see.
And a lot of fighting at a lot of the times there, and I think my mic wasn't on, but it is now. Hey, just so you're all on our spectrum. That's the one I was thinking of. Now, good game, big game coming out of Chiefs there, and you know, there was a little bit of limit testing towards the end there. Peace doing really good, sort of to fight off one of those extra fights. Unfortunately, converted to the Baron for Chiefs there, and then, well, the base didn't last for too long. Peace went for one last hurrah. Looked good on him for at least attempting it and never backing down, but throughout this game, for the first 10 minutes, you see that 2k gold lead. First 15 minutes, you see that 4k gold lead, and it just kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and Raes was also getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the game went on, Kitty.
I know that Bard is currently a really high win rate champion, but I don't think he came through in this game because we didn't see him making those cross-map plays like a usual Bard would. And in one instance where the Chiefs dropped Herald, we didn't even have the bottle to save for that tower, which was pretty devastating. But I really liked what was coming out of Chiefs. I think Tally played Azir pretty well. He did have a lot of good ultis, and of course Arthur on the LeeSA, always a staple. And we see Sejuani a second time for tonight where it's done well. Kind of, it's done well-ish.
Yeah,
I'm liking the
done
pick.
well-ish, you know. It got him over the line. That's what you need to focus on here for all you Chiefs fans out there. They still are keeping it clean. 5-0, undefeated. There was a moment, I think, at the start of the game, I got very excited seeing Apii get that first blood. I was thinking, okay, peace. We're going to have a better game today. It's going to start strong. And look, there wasn't that many kills. This is kind of what we were expecting going into today, right? These long scaling games with a little bit of action here and there, but just have a look at the damage difference between all these individuals. Violet, 16k with no one too close behind him, except, of course, Raes on the other side of the fence. They're 16.4k on the Trist and doing God's work. Now, Kitty, there was an item you were asking about before. That Azir one coming through the Banshees.
Oh, yes. So I believe that Azir bought Banshees because the only threat where he gets caught is because of the Bard ultimate, or maybe even a little bit of CC like the Everfrost from that top skirmish. But I think overall, this Azir was played really, really well. And coming out of Peace, I think for a lot of those team fights, they were struggling to execute it. From that top play, diving the Sejuani, they needed 4 people. It was pretty rough as well. It took a long time while Raes was able to get all 4 plates solo by himself, while Peace kind of split the gold, and it was just not a worth trade in the very end.
Yeah, there just wasn't a huge amount of stuff going on there. And again, another one of these games with an Ez that doesn't have a mythic. It's like, you know, it's back to that conversation of what do you build? What's the best thing? And do you even get to the point where you need that mythic power spike? Because I don't know if he really needed to get to that
I saw
point.
him build a serrated Dirk, sell it, and then get a last Whisper. Because he
doubled
couldn't
down.
decide what he wanted. Yeah,
Oh,
so there was a bit
no.
of time with the shopkeeper there, but yeah, in the end, didn't actually get time to buy one because he lost too quickly.
Good old Boris.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, we do have someone on the line. Kitty, who we having a chat to?
We do have the Tristana that got the 4 solo plates coming in for our interview tonight. And this was a very heated discussion where on Twitter, I believe it's Vega V2, where do you build Duskblade or Prowlers on Ezreal as a mythic?
I mostly build Prowlers, or like when I'm choosing between those two, but yeah. I usually like Eclipse if I need the lifesteal, but it's Prowlers over Duskblade for sure.
Why do you prefer that?
It's just more damage, I guess. Like Duskblade, its cooldown is kind of like getting more cooldown is just becomes unnecessary at a point. Like every item that you build in Ezreal gives CDR, so you don't need that much.
Very true, very true. Now, look, going into the second round, you know, we're getting pretty close to that now. Who are you feeling is your biggest opponents at the moment? Because obviously Peace today, like at the start of the split, you would have said they are one of your bigger opponents, but Peace have sort of been lacking a little bit. And like, are you still just focusing on the top teams, or are you just literally trying to play your game and not letting people catch up to you?
We still don't like disrespect anyone. So far we've versed all the top 3 teams like we'd assume coming into the split, right? Order, Peace, and Internet, and we like smash them in all of our games, so I just don't think it's like, I don't know, it's pretty hard to tell based off the games that we played who is our real contender, but just mainly going to focus on ourselves until someone actually stands up to us.
Very true.
And we do have Arthur making a cute cameo in the back again. So do you have any words of encouragement for Arthur's performance today?
Just keep ganking bot, I guess. Or just keep letting me get solo plates.
All right, beautiful. Now, quickly, before we have a discussion on the MVP, do you think you're the MVP? Would you give it to yourself, or would you give it to someone else on the team?
Let's give it to Pieces Macro for giving us like 5k gold for free.
Beautiful. And then on that note, we'll see you later, Raes.
Thank you. See ya.
So good.
So savage to close it out. Just after when I was out, he's like, we don't disrespect any of our opponents.
We respect them all, but if your macro sucks.
Hey.
I don't know if we have a graphic prepared for the MVP of Peace's macro.
Just the icon of
But
Peace
yeah,
appears.
it's
Just
just
the
their
Summoner's
logo.
Rift
cool.
mini-map.
I'll whip that one up real quick. I'll go grab a pen.
Yeah.
No, but look, who do we think is the MVP from Chiefs after that one, the Dare MVP? I think Arthur again. man.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
He was getting a lot of early leads.
Nah. You know, this was like last game. You know how like everyone did well, but they also entered one time?
He had the hero play. They missed the first Herald.
Yeah.
You
True.
could give it to Azir, but maybe do we disregard that first blood? Could have just stumbled
I
in.
think he got really unlucky there.
He kind of got a little
Tally's
bit
gone
unlucky.
to bed, so he's not going to watch the VOD, but if he watches that back, he'll be sad.
He will be.
Okay.
I feel like it's
I don't know. I'm at
We've got to
nothing.
pick someone.
I'm going to go for Tally.
Did Aladoric do his job well the whole time?
I'm gonna go for Ali because I think his Rakan is always like a solid. What do you mean?
Yeah, fine. They all did
They all did
No,
fine.
They all
but I
just
was
won.
thinking
Yeah.
Tally's Azir. But after the 3-man all, he didn't do anything. So
Yeah.
He's just
Raes because he got plates.
He was perma-shoving.
Raes.
He raised because he got plates and did a lot of damage.
He had the most gold in
Yeah,
the game.
sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah.
it a raise.
Let's give it a
ABC.
raise. Give it a raise.
Yeah, let's give it to Raes,
like,
hey?
well-
Let's give it to Raes for the Dare MVP.
That was tough.
I'm glad we had a...
He just literally made Peace go quiet. He said, shush.
We all agreed. He had some savage... Let's give it to him for the bloody interview, hey? It's doing good work. 2-0
out of
and 5.
reasons today.
70% KP and a third-ish of the damage there as well. Man was hunting plates and getting towers like there was absolutely no tomorrow.
he has 11 wards placed, so that's already more than the Bard, I'm assuming.
Oh, Zombie Ward Bard, to be fair, will default to more accidentally. All right, support main with a Bard bias. I see you. Anti-Bard
you?
over there.
I am anti-Bard.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
you're
why
just
Bard lost.
compensating for
I'm
my
happy
aggressive
that Bard
pro-Bard.
lost.
I get it.
Rusty, if you were a support...
Mum
not
and Dad are
Rusty,
fighting
Skimmy,
again.
If you were a support player, what would you play? Quickly. While you think about that,
I'll play Yumi.
exclamation Discord in the chat while Skimmy thinks about that. I didn't hear that. You might have to repeat it in a moment. But exclamation Discord, ask Rusty and Skimmy who they want to play in that bot lane. I don't know. Send pictures of your puppies. Talk all things Discord, all things LCO in there. And look, you could also ask what that third game of the day is. Skimmy, do you know what it is?
No.
It's the match of the week.
It is.
It is.
Do you know what? Direwolf's Order.
It is.
Woo.
And that's coming up just after the break. Ladies and gents, don't go too far because the match of the week is after this.
Yeah, Tally's on. A TP from top side. The Emperor's Divide knocking back through as they go for the binding. Flashing out of the Everfrost. Oh no, gets landed on by that 10-foot Fate. True Shot Barrage goes across the try and pat these members down low. The shield is there. Gwen's now immune. Raes. Rocket jumping away inside that Baron pit. They pile drive into Thien, and he's been baited. Peace went in. They formed this collapse.
Hey, look, menu bomb.
Big wins across the board. Direwolves win. Bulldog's not going bald.
Truth.
He wants me to bark. So he's happy about that one. And we'll just leave it at that.
Mayfun is currently illegal.
Oh no, Mayfun is being caught out on his own. There's the kick, that's a great ultimate for the invulnerability clips. He can't be hit. The wave to disengage the Everfrost. I don't believe Mayfun. What am I seeing? The greatest bait in history. The resets it in, a double kill for Voice. The kills are being found. Peace. They fought ahead of one. Flank. Winter's going to go for the fight. These after instant flash away there from Kissei. Winter might just fallen down as a result of this one. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to go for the fight regardless. Down comes the entrance. In goes the Galio. He's got 25 stacks in this mid-eyes, and he just don't miss. It's an ace. It's a quadra kill. Looking for it. There is the Tempered Fate. Oh, he's disengaged away out of the chains of this Nocturne. The charm connects onto the Wukong, and he has been shut down by the Bard. There's the Everfrost, but the knockback away. No, Seaman! He's just absolutely been broken. It's a double kill. Unreal. Fighto in a losing situation takes two to the grave with it.
Chiefs ready.
Looking for another massive three-man cyclone. Raes jumps and Shadow gets exhausted, doesn't even mind.
And just a nasty combo from the Chiefs. They make it look so easy. It's hard to even get excited with how clean they make that work.
Of potential to stay topped up and healthy with a Sunder into a death stance. Right, there's another hook, and that's another member that's going to be flashed away from into a triple knock-up, into a back-to-back knock-up. Unbelievable. Kanga just want to close this one out.